Good morning. Good morning. It is 3:06 a.m. I am on my way to the gym right now. I'm gonna tell you a story, and then I'm gonna go into something. A car company had called me. They were asking about a payment, and I was trying to delay the payment, and I don't know that I necessarily was doing it the right way, but I wanted to delay the payment because what I wanted to pay was more than I had, so I wanted to post date it. But I wasn't sure I wanted to give them that amount of money. I wasn't sure I wanted to give it to them. So I said, hey, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to do it on this date. So I say, okay, not a problem. They say, okay, well, we need to get a routing and account number. Well, I've already learned never to give out your routing and account number. So I said, well, I have a debit card on me. But mind you, I'm still at a point where I'm not convinced I want to make this payment. So I changed the last digit of the code on the card. And then I changed the last digit on the code on the security code. Now, mind you, in my mind, I am being convicted of this because as I am doing it, the spirit is moving on me and saying, what are you doing, bro? However, I'm thinking that I'm making the best decisions. I give the number out. The lady says, hey, it's not processing. It's not going through. It's saying invalid. I said, no problem. I'll call you back. I'll give you the bank account information. I didn't have it on me. So I'll get the bank account information. Within 3 minutes, not even 3 minutes, within a minute and a half, I happened to be in my wife's car. I was with her. We had smelled smoke coming from the engine. I say, go over here to this. We were getting ready to go hiking. I said, go to this Firestone. It's a tire repair shop, Firestone, whatever. We pulled in there. As we pulled in, the light on the car simultaneously said backup battery on. No sooner than we got in the parking spot, the battery went dead. Walked inside, hey, the battery's dead, blah, blah, blah. Said, what's going on? Could you guys check it out? They said, hey, we don't have a mechanic here. We might not have one until tomorrow. Not a big deal. We leave the car there. I get a call from the mechanic later on, or from the place. He says, yeah, your battery is completely done, and your alternator went out, and the belt is completely burnt. So you're gonna have to replace the belt, the alternator, and the battery. $760 something. Okay. I go back. I say, okay, I got to discuss it with my wife. I'll call you back. Discuss it with her. Her response, well, just pay it, get it done, right? I say all that to say that it didn't have to be the devil. It didn't have to be a God thing. It could have just been the battery going out. The alternator went out. The battery went out. But it's so easy for me to go ahead and just say it was a result of my actions that created that result. Because ultimately, when something goes bad, the first thing we want to do is blame an external source versus the internal source. Like I said, may not have had nothing to do with the principalities of heaven or hell. It may not even had anything to do with the fact that I was just trying to lie. So I was getting ready to call it a white lie, a little lie. A lie's a lie. I was getting ready to lie. I was trying to get away with a lie. Right? I'm 40. You still learn. You don't stop learning. But now I can sit here. I remember I looked at her because she was sitting next to me as I was on the phone with the car company, and I said, said, boy, that was an expensive lie. She said, what do you mean? I said, because no sooner than I told the lie to the bank, to the car company, your car started doing something crazy. I say all that to say that you can, if for me to make the acquaintance of the car versus in the same timeline as my lie allows me to say, don't lie again. These are the results that you get from that. Right? Another person might just say, hey, they're totally unrelated and my lying was justified, and they just keep on lying. For me, I have more power and go ahead and just associating the two and saying, hey, that lie just cost you more than just money. But I've always had that kind of life where I never was able, like when my friends can get away with a whole bunch of stuff, I can never get away with anything. You know, the people I ran with, the things that they would get away with, I'd probably get caught, be sitting in somebody's prison for life. But I'll tell you something, the reason why I kind of got into that is because even this morning, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, my God, my life has been so much better since God. It doesn't mean that my life, how can I put this? It doesn't mean that I don't have problems. Like, come on, for goodness sake. Jesus died on a cross. Like, dude was like God. He died. Think about it. John the Baptist chopped his head off. The disciples killed. I'm not saying that that's how it has to end. I'm just saying that everybody has problems. But I'm also saying that my life has been so much better because even in those problems, if you have enough faith, then you just really kind of say, hey, this too shall pass. I wasn't going to sit there and cry about this bill. Who wants to pay $740 something? I had no intentions on paying that. Thank God I had the money. I think I had the money. And then a part of me was like, because this is the old me. Yeah, because, it was Firestone. I had some work done on another car there recently, not a big deal. But I was like, that's kind of high when he was telling me the price. I was like, I wonder if that's, right. And something inside of me was saying, hey, try to see if you can get a better price somewhere else. Then another part of me was saying, no, just pay it. Just tell them to do the work. Go down there tomorrow and just pay it. Simple as that. And the problem with most people, even people that believe in God, you're just not obedient. Like, dude, there's like things talking to you and you're just la-di-da. This isn't in a line with what I want. So I'm going to ignore it. I didn't want to pay $740. The old me would have been like, let me shop. Let me call my mechanic guy and be like, yo, because I didn't want to be obedient because that wasn't my plan. I was like, man, I got to be able to get this done like $100, $200, cheaper. Which is a part of a scarcity mindset. That's a part, whether you know it or not, when you try to shop around for a cheaper deal. Well, one is your time is on the line, so there's no There's no profit. There's no value exchange for your time because your time is invaluable. But you're using your time in order to save money. So you're being disobedient. And then you wonder why things don't work out. Instead of just giving into the process. The old me would have shopped around for a better deal. Oh man, yeah, hey, I appreciate that. I had my handyman call me yesterday. Went over to a property that I have. It's a family-owned property, but it's something that I am responsible for. He went over there. I left him a key and a lockbox. Goes inside and says, quotes me off a number somewhere around $6,000 or $7,000 to get it up and going. That's just what he's going to do, not alone, let alone the other stuff that has to be done. An AC unit, potential roof damage. Right? So the old me would have said, let me shop for a best deal. But I believe that God has put people in my life. He's put pieces in place for me not to be disobedient and say, let me go look for a cheaper price, because I don't have time to waste. I would prefer to give it to somebody who is a professional and let them do it. So you got to ask yourself, and I'm going to end this, is it really that God is not there? Is it really that luck is not on your side? What is it really? Or is it really that you're just really disobedient? Because I got to really believe that it's probably disobedience. Because in spite of the fact of looking up at $14,000 or $15,000 in a bill on a property that wasn't necessarily something I should have incurred, in spite of an $800 bill on a repair on a vehicle that just made absolutely 0 sense, at the end of the day, I really got to ask myself, was I being obedient? Yeah, I know it's a cars, this stuff happens. I know it's a house, this stuff happens. But am I being obedient? Like, I mean, listen. You can have a metal hammer fall on your head and try to figure this out. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, is the hammer falling on your head because of your disobedience? Or why does the hammer keep falling on your head? Why are you struggling? What's the deal? And is your struggle a result of you? Not a result of external sources, but you. I can't answer that for you. I can answer that for me, and I can say every one of my struggles has been a direct result of me. So now I prayed this morning, and I got down on my knees and I prayed, and I just said, I don't know how things are going to work. Because at this moment, there's so much going on, I just don't know how. I said, God, I got to have a real conversation with you. I said, I just know it will. And that scares me even more, because now I have the freedom to let go. It doesn't mean let go and not do anything, because people who pray and ask for stuff but don't want to do nothing, I think that's a little bananas. I think that's a little nutty. That's a little crazy. I've had people say, man, I pray that, they're not going to take my house, but they won't make a phone call to the bank to discuss terms. They won't it's just crazy. It's like, yes, faith, but faith without works is dead. You got to move. God says, open up and give me what's in your hand, and I'll open up and give you what's in my hand. Fair exchange ain't no robbery. So I just basically said, I'm just going to trust you. And I remember like a month ago, the coolest thing I ever heard is that when you pray, you can just let it all go and you can live the best life. How many things are you worried about? How many things are you fearful of? How many things are bothering you today that you should let go? And I'm not saying let go and don't do anything about it and don't take action, because when you do that, I think you're setting yourself up for a bigger disappointment, because you're not being obedient to the action part of faith. You have to still be obedient to the action part of faith. And so in saying being obedient to the action part of faith, what I'm simply saying is this, is that when you let it go to God, you have to be disciplined and you have to be obedient to what is your next instruction. And not say, nah, that's not what he's talking about. I've had a lot of people come to me in real estate and say, man, I love your faith. I want you to help me buy a house. I want you to help me sell my house. I've had people do this, come to me. They're like, dude, I see you, like you believe, like I know it, man. God led me to you, man. Right on. God bless. Let's get going. All right, great. All right, great. I'm excited. Let's do this. Let's rock and roll. And then we get into transaction and they don't listen to anything I say. I'm like, are you sure God sent you to me? Because if he sent you to me, he sent you to the right person. But if you're not going to listen to me, what does it matter? See, that's that disobedient heart. I was being disobedient when I was in the car reading off the credit card number. I was like, I'll just change the last number, because I really didn't want them charging my card. I don't like people charging my stuff. I like to say, hey, I'll do this at this time and then I'll call you. Because I 9 times out of 10, I do it. I do it at this time and I call you. But when you start trying to afford, I don't like you. I don't want you having access to my stuff. You might do something goofy. Right? But I knew when I was doing it, something inside me was talking to me, and I was being disobedient to the voice that was talking to me. I said, nah, do this instead. And the crazy thing is, after it was all said and done, I went to call them back, or they finally called me back, and I said, you know what? I said, nah, I'm cool. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to do it this way. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not going to do it at all. I'm good. Because that's what was on my heart to be obedient to. I'm in this video right now because that's more than most people can even consume, because what I'm giving you right now, what I'm basically telling you, is a secret on how to eliminate, not problems. You're not going to eliminate your problems. You're not going to, your problems are not going to go away. One of two things are going to happen with problems. You're going to have the same problem, or you're going to have different problems because you done seen some promotion. I'm seeing a different problem. I'm not even going to get into it. You heard what I said. It is what it is.